Ready to go bambino? Want some bambino? Hi, Carl. How are ya? How you doing, buddy? It's Marge. Hi. I'm Marge. I'm a Hilke empath. Excuse me, I was trying to get a cookie in. It's been a 2-cookie day. I went about an hour ago. I'm like, oh, okay, that one's sitting nice. Let's do another one for my friends. One for me and one for my homies. I was just listening to Imagine Dragons yesterday. You know, a lot of people are thinking about yesterdays right now. I'm thinking a lot about yesterdays. A lot of long yesterdays, many yesterdays, you know. I feel pretty good, though. I feel pretty optimistic. I took a lot of foot prayers today, you know, and I talked, the guy from the transmission shop called me back. Yeah, so it ain't that. So he ruled it out, you know. I got a freaking, because we always took, when I was in the Air Force, we always took the trucks to motor pool. So I don't know about, I mean, they had gear solenoids, so it could kind of be like, and like drivetrains and stuff. So it could kind of be this, but it's not the same as the transmissions system. And that there's some like oil pressure switches in some machines that you have to have like a specific oil pressure to get them to work. And this is like my favorite album. It's Sacred Spirit. Spirit's coming in. I better take this opportunity to remind myself to invite God into the room, into the chat, into the talk, and a breeze is coming up. It is such a trip, man. My body is like, this ain't right. My body all day long. Because before the fires, I'm not even exaggerating, because I got a good tracker. And before the fires, the sun had its path, and now the fires are different. The sun travels a shorter path across the sky. I don't know who's getting the full. I know we're falling, we're getting shorter days, but it's different than it was last year. And you know, it's so weird because we're conditioned. Human beings are conditioned, you know. Fall, I mean, I was programmed every fall is like, you know, back to school. You know, you go school clothes, or other kids went school clothes shopping. We didn't really. Thrift stores, you know. That's why I always dress. I used to like dress in really bright, bold colors, and you know, like in high school, I wore a freaking like I'd go to the thrift store and get like 3-piece old man suits and stuff like that. I just always did things different. So I forgot what I was saying already. Let's just talk about what I was going to talk. It's a saying that Mom said. I'm trying to, instead of say Mom always said, because I don't want to sound like freaking too Forrest Gumpy, and I feel like because I often refer to things that she says. So what I decided I'll do is I'll say, Mom, I bet you wish you wouldn't have said that, because you manifest things and make things come to fruition by our words. Our words are our spells, and we can conjure a good life or a negative life, and so you got to be careful about how you speak. And ever since a young girl, I heard from her, you're being rude and insensitive. Are you being rude and insensitive? Or just, she'd ask me, are you being, and let me decide, am I being rude and insensitive? No, I'm not being rude and insensitive. I'm not. In my adamancy. No, I'm not. People have tried to control my behavior my whole entire life. Until, even into adulthood. Margie, you can't say things like that. Margie, you can't do. I'm like, dude, I thought I was a grown-ass adult that had thumbs, you know, and I paid all my own bills. Yet I was always part of groups that they told me that I had to act. We don't act that way, Margie. Oh, yeah? I know, because a lot of people act a certain kind of way, but then in their heart space, they're living a different kind of way. So how is that any different? you know. I mean, I know that when people are act like they're happy to see you and then they hug you and it's just dead cold. It's like nothing. It's just like, dude, don't even fake it, man. Don't even pretend. We don't. Not everybody has to get along with everybody. You don't. I was just listening to, what is his name? I always freaking jack up his name. Good Dog. Good Dog. She carries enough to send her very best. And that guy, just, he's cool. He talks for like 4 hours and shit. I'm like, dude, I wish I had that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time. Mom's good today. Mom is good. We laughed some earlier. It's always good to laugh. And then when I was in Good Dog's talk earlier, someone was like, excuse me, I have to go tend to my dear mother or something like that. I'm like, ha, that's so funny. I just got my mom ice cream. All these people are taking care of their family. It's pretty cool. It's kind of neat to see. It's, I come from the bloodline, since everything is about bloodlines, It's not what you know, it's who you're related to. And I went down a little ant hole today about that. But it's nothing, data and information. It's just not, you're never going to verify anything 100%. I can have everything is speculation. Everything is speculation. Because there's always going to be evidence to support or break down the argument. Depends on people's frame of reference and how they grew up. They're trying to create one Earth for like seven. However, I think they fudged the numbers. I think it's I don't think there's 7 billion people on the planet. When you think of it was how long? 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people were still traveling across the United States in buggies, and in that short period of time, we're going from buggies to freaking billions of people. No, that they've been making up stories since they made up Hollywood to perpetuate the stories of the narratives that they've been making up. It's like a perpetual motion machine to constantly keep people in a state of fear, all the while taking all the tools for creativity for people to have of their own, taking them away. Because when I was a kid, like, music and band was way bigger. And there were shop classes where you could learn how to work on cars or work with wood, but they took all that stuff away and then made us reliant on their system. But then their system is oh so broke. So what is it? Mercury is conjunct with Saturn right now. Is that what it is? See, it's so funny. I went to the parts store earlier to get another quart of transmission fluid because I'm like, she's still a little low, right? I can feel her. She's still a little low. So I got another quart, and then and the lady at the parts store, this is going to be a rerun for you, Carl. The lady at the parts store, one gal, she was like, I was trying to tell her my phone number, and I've been calling Northern California so much, and their area code, because here it's 503, but it's 530. And so I was trying to, and I just got a notice on my phone that a geomagnetic storm was in progress, and I'm just like, my number is, because I wanted to look up to make sure that I was buying the same product, the same transmission fluid that I bought last time. Because I'm spacey. This is before any cookies. I was stone cold, no flour, nothing on board. Because I don't do that when I go out and I have to conduct business in life, because I don't drive and all that stuff. Because that's all ego shit. And so, so I was just I was not firing. I'm like, man, these energies are just freaking insane today. And I know Mercury, I think it's Mercury is conjunct with Saturn right now. I got an email about it earlier, and I was like, geez, man, I'm just spacey as all get out. So I wanted to do this cut talk and then go freaking get sucked into some entertainment, some light. I'm going to turn off the tubes. I'm going to freaking dial in and just chill out on some, I'm going to delete the song because I hate it. Counting Blue Cars, Dishwalla. I never liked that song. I just always fast forward. I'm like, why do you have it? It's on one of those mixed compilation albums that I bought. I like to buy those ever since like the mixed up tapes. Um, so the one lady's, I'm like, these energies are just so wild, and the one gal, I was like, okay, I'm like, so I've been calling, I'm like, so okay, area code. What is the area code here? I'm like, it's 530 or 503. I said the wrong one. I said 530, and the lady was looking right at me, and she's like, yeah, and then the other guy was like, no, it's fine. I'm like, oh, okay. See, it was just everybody's dumbing down. So you got to just make an allowances, and if you got, it's just. And then I can't remember her name. She's a real nice gal. She's always the last we're gaining a rapport, because you go to the same places and then you get to know people, and then they tell you about things that happen in their life, and then the next time you go, you ask them. So last time I was here, we this happened. How are your friends? They get out. They have all got through the fire and everything was okay, but they had to evacuate. But everything, but her last I saw her and her face was white, and I'm just like, find a faith. Find a faith and connect. You got to know that things are going to be okay. Don't sit in that fear. You got to rise above that fear vibe, and I give people pet talks and stuff like that. And they're grateful. They are. And so when I was talking to her today, she showed me a picture of a dollar that she found. And it had like the in the zero, it had circle, and then it said, juicy chrome. I'm not going to say it because of certain words get flagged. Juicy chrome, like Keegan calls it, juicy chrome is the white rabbit. And I was like, ooh, that's a new one to me. I've heard it before, but I didn't know. And when I thought it was like cocaine or something. I knew it was a mind altering substance, but people just changed it. That was in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. Understand, terminology changes with the times, but they're all synonyms. See, and she was like, I looked up this stuff, and I'm like, dude, you got red pilled, sweetie. That's what happened there. You got red pilled, buddy. I didn't call her sweetie. I don't call what people sweet. I call mom sweetie sometimes, but anyway. But I'm like, I said, all that stuff is true. And the other guy, we're all talking. We're in the parts store. We're talking about freaking juicy chrome and how, the governments have been in the tunnels and saving the kids and all this stuff. And it's just like, dude, we're the news. This is mainstream. This is how and that's just because that conversation happened because somebody put notes on a dollar bill and dropped it for someone else to pick it up. Yeah. People are waking up, man. There's and the freaking the people that I don't like to. It's just a circle of greed as far as I'm concerned. I don't identify with any denomination, sect, politic, religion. I see truth in all of them, and I see lies in all of them. And the truth and the lies are the people in the systems. Okay, it's not the systems themselves. It's the people that integrate them systems to either help or hinder things. Helping is Jesus Christ consciousness. Hindrance is a low vibrational frequency that can be found in the Lucy fairy tale. That's what I call it, the Lucy fairy tale. That people have been living. We've been living the Lucy fairy tale. Disney, all this nasty stuff right in front of our face. Geppetto. I see where people get the clone stuff. I see where people are getting it. I see how people can really, but that's the thing, is unless I'm in a lab and I see the stuff for myself, it's all speculation. It's because we can't verify anything 100% unless we get all of the information on said topic, but we don't ever get all information on said topic because there are controls and powers that are in place that will never allow it until we take our last breath. And when we take our last breath, that contains our spirit. Our last breath contains our spirit. And some nefarious like to take in other people's spirits because they think it does make them more powerful, but you're doing it in a cheater way. And there's hell to pay in the cheater way. So, you can't take people, when people, I help people pass. I help animals. I will be there. I'm in an accident. I don't, I don't care how gross it. I will. I am not. I am here to help spirits. It's okay. Just you're the lucky one, man. You get to go to glory before me. And then when the way I look at it is, we take our last breath, our spirit goes out into their solar system, where our other soul family is, solar system. And you hang out and you're like, hey, you want to reincarnate and go make some stuff happen? Yeah, let's go do it. I heard freaking Earth is gonna freaking, it's gonna fall into damnation if people don't raise in their vibrational frequency and come into their love, And that means loving the people that have done the most disgusting things to you. Loving the nefarious. Can people love the nefarious? People don't love me because I say things in the moment that I mean, but when that moment passed, I don't mean that anymore, but I said it in that moment and I meant it. I meant it in that moment. I meant it in that moment, but then that moment passed and I'm like, oh man. Then I feel bad for things that I say, and then other people freaking hate me for the things that I say. And they also play me because they know that I feel bad, and hurt people like hurt people, and they want you to be like them. So, they kind of like it. Oh, Marge is like when I was a little kid, I had so much trauma that when you wake me up in the morning, I would jump if I was woken up abruptly. And my dad, he thought it was funny, and my brother thought it was funny. And there were times throughout my life they'd go barging in, blah, just so I'd wake up and freaking, like I haven't had enough trauma in my life, right? Being raped as a baby and all that, like that isn't enough. Like people, just keep piling on, and then I don't know what happens when freaking people poke and tease, and I'm this little freaking mouth that is just like, fuck you, you're an asshole, fuck you, you're a dick. And I don't care if it's a cop, I don't care. If somebody is being a marauder, I'm gonna at least say, hey, this is what you're doing, what's your cause, like watching cops freaking blaze through stoplights to freaking give tickets for somebody that did a California stop. I mean, are you kidding me? And they're like, don't get me started on the fat cops, the ones that let themselves go. Don't get me started. See, I can have a bad taste about that because when I was in the Air Force, freaking old tech sergeants, old fat fucking techs, old master sergeants, you gotta go to the gym, Marge, or you're way too much. So all these fat people always told me that I was too much, but I never saw them at the gym with me. That's why I was just like, man, I gotta get through my 6 years and be done. It's all a club. It's all a bros club. It was disgusting. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good people in the military, but there's so many freaking slacker, lazy freaking people that just are soaking up a paycheck, that don't have any self-respect, so they don't have any kind of work ethic. They just go, and because you can't get fired unless you're really a D-bag, and you can suck old boys, there's plenty of ways to suck up to people, and and I was never a suck up, so I never fit into these paradigms. I've been in bros club my whole entire life, man. I'm an IT professional, in IT. I don't know who, and they all, the good people, how like people are like, they all wear the same shoes, they all wear but energy types of a feather flock together. So like the grandmas always wear the same perfume, kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. People are so predictable, and me included, I think I'm like all crafty and wily and stuff like that, and smart and stuff. But the thing is people, it's easy to see how people are going to act based on how they acted in the past. Are they still acting like they always acted? I'm trying to act different. I'm trying to be, because I was so into ego then and so far from spirit that I was perpetuating freaking the Lucy fairy tale without even knowing it. As soon as I, signing my life away, giving my 6 years of my life away to the government so I can go to college to earn a college degree that I don't even use now because, mom, unless mom needs her tech support, and then I can, but it's all divine, and there's so many people that just think that they run their lives, that they are 100%, I'm talking 100% control of their own lives. And that is just not the reality of it, folks. There's a course of action and the design, and then you have the controllers that are trying to knock us off the course of action and design, and then you have the freedom fighters going, you can't do that, you know? But depending on how you grow up in your frame of reference, each side looks different to the other, but I see all sides point, and all what it boils down to me is that what we have going on the whole planet is the fact that more than 51% of the population in the world believe in themselves more than they believe in God. Because believing in yourself, running the show for you, money, property, prestige, all that shit is ego, Luciferian tale stuff. All of it. College degrees, all of it. Anything that is setting people up that, you know, I'm better, you know. I think about that. How hard it was for me to go to college, and then scumbags like Bill Cosby and stuff. How many honorary doctorate degrees did that freaking pervert have? You know, so what, so, and then they're like, oh, we know who you really are, so we're going to take our stuff back. So does that, what does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, it's all clubs. It's all superficial certificates. I'm not a doctor. I keep myself pretty healthy by maintaining my physical health so that I just don't get sick. Because if you don't get a cold, it's like me being an alcoholic. You know what keeps me from getting drunk? Works every single time. I've never once gotten drunk when I didn't take the first drink. Yeah. And the same goes for anger, justifiable anger. People, they're not getting it. I saw on Twitter, I hate when they freaking do that black smoke, when they hit the switch and they freaking do the bypass and spit black. I hate that. That happened to me, this fucker, a couple weeks ago and he cut me off, you know? It's just, people are assholes. You don't treat other human beings like that. And they had that, the Biden guy, they had his signs, and this truck goes back and just freaking blows smoke in these people's face, you know? And that's the thing. It's like, that ain't the God way. You might disagree with people, but you don't get to cause harm to people. That's the thing. That's what people aren't getting. People are like, I'm going to fight for justice. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm like, what are we fucking for? I'm going to beat you up. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm tougher than you. I'm tougher than you. I'm gonna beat you up. It's like, I come home, I tell mom stories of accounts of things that I see in life, and she likes to ask the same question often. These are adult people. These are grown adult people. Yeah, mom. These are the people that are running the country. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, huh? How where people live in ego or spirit. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Demetra, she just put out a talk. Fake alien invasion canceled. No, they're just gonna bring the virus back. They're just gonna do the third wave or fourth wave or so. I talked to a lady today. Oh, she's such a dear woman. And she's just, people are so programmed. Well, I wear a mask. She said, I wear a mask, not for me, but for other people. And I was like, that is so funny to me. I haven't had running water in 3 years, so it's so nice of all these fuckers that are wearing a mask for me when I'm not sick or haven't been sick or gonna get sick. You know, people, it's like, you know, it's just, it don't add up. When stuff don't add up, I call bullshit. And it's just, I don't wear, I've been saying it since January, because I've been following the astrology, man. It doesn't say what's going to happen. It's just going to say the potential for some bullshit. We got 100% chance of bullshit today. And then what happens is, oh, there's a virus in China. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, that must be the bullshit that is being forecast for today. It just gives you potentials, you know, and then you look at the climate, the astrological alignments, the really big ones, because the outer planets, they're the ones that take the longest. So like Saturn, like Saturn cycles, like I think 32 years, but so to go through all 12 signs is 32 times 12. So the last time the stuff that's happening, all this shit in Capricorn right now, that was 1600s. So the proclamation of Reformation of Damnation or whatever, that's when the church changed. That's when I almost want to say it's like around the time of the printing press. And look at what's happening in the media. The media is being revamped because people aren't gonna. It's not gonna be paid broadcasters anymore. We are the news because we're in the local areas. We're gonna go down. I've already been building my rapport, my credibility, on my account, my stories for the last couple of years, and now people are starting to, so once I get mom in this place where I can, leave I will go out, I'll go freaking sit in the meetings of the city council and listen to that and be like, because, dude, if I can do the business side of freaking like recovery, where I had to go to area and stuff like that, if I can, because those are the cream of the crap, man. Drunks, recovery, because there's so many of those people that just did the most nefarious, dastardly things, and so they want to live a better life. So that's good, but a lot of them are still doing the same shit. They're just not drinking. See? So minds get twisted, man. Lots of things can twist minds up. Post-traumatic stress can twist minds up. People, that's why in base, I thought basic training was a joke. I was just like, oh, I see what this is. This is all for like apparel company. This is the same stuff. I remember when it was Blues Day, and you had all day, the whole days, you had to get measured for dress blues, and it was standing this way and stand straight because you only one break and all just, And so that's how I can tell who still is like in that program, because like guys that wear suits and stuff, they still have the same. I'm always paying attention. There's reason why people wear rings, and it's all symbols. It's always been. Ever since I was a little girl, Mom had a boyfriend, Larry. And I remember sitting on his lap and him flipping the toothpaste over. It was like Crest. And on the back, it said, look, Procter & Gamble. And then they had this Wiccan, like stars and like a moon. And I was like, oh, see, the thing of it is so many religions people are finding out, it's like, come serve God. But what they're not telling you is which God they are serving. Oh, yeah. See, there's 500 gods? It's like over 500 different, And then for every God, then everybody that sees a God, then they have an interpretation of that God. So how many more gods? So like I was saying earlier, is we don't live on a planet where 7 million, they're trying to make one version of Earth for 7 million people, and the fact is there's 7 million versions of Earth, or for every consciousness on the planet, everybody is experiencing a different version of the Earth based on the things that they're drawn to. So if they're a fearful person, things are really gonna get scary for you right now. But if you're a faithful person, you're gonna freaking rise above that fear, find your faith, hook onto that wind, and then it's going to pull us through into the 5th dimension. Or the poles will flip, freaking billions of people will die, and everything will be a reset and we'll start over. But that already happened to my spirit, and end of the land is so. I've been through it. And when you've been through stuff, it's the stuff that is the unknown that is scary to me. Falling in love is scary to me. Making friends is scary to me. Because I might disappoint people like I did before. Yeah. But the thing is that is all ego stuff. Rise above it. I'm just fine the way I am. I got a pretty smile because I got my mom's smile. I'm pretty witty and pretty charming. I know I know a little bit about a lot of different stuff and in some stuff I know a lot about. But most people in life, I find out, if you're lucky, you'll find one person that knows a lot about one thing. So, it's a gorgeous day. I want to share my cookies with the whole world for fun and for free. Excuse me. Carl, you watch Good Dog too? Good deal. Hi, Amanda. How are you today? Excuse me. Yeah, see? Amish have their stuff too, though. But I just have a, I don't know, I like Amish. I watch, like, I used to watch them. I know a little bit about it. Hi, Violet. It was nice to see you and both Ahmad and was that Adrian Elise? Was that today? I love Adrian Elise, man. She's like my soul cousin. I think we're cut from the same cloth. Yeah, it is a club and we ain't in it. But we're making a new club, you know? Is that the Mork from Ork thing? Is that what that is? Is that Mork from Ork? I got this for Robin Williams. And then it's the lady at the laundromat said it's like the anchor of protection. She called it something. I was like, it could be that too. I need all the help I can get. See, I'm not Catholic. I mean, I've been used to go to I've been to Catholic churches. I worked at a Jesuit university. That was Creepsville, USA. Oh, Creepsville. But I like trinkets and I like protection. So this one I've had since is St. Anthony's. Or isn't that Saint Protector of Kids? Something like that. And this is like 4 different ones. There's 4 of them. I don't know who they are. And I don't think it says. I think my eyesight's getting... But I always stretch it. So like I read in the dark. And I don't think that makes it worse. I think I don't know. I do all kinds of things to test things and push limits. And try it like this. And try it like that. Mom's always like, I'm doing stuff in the living room. And we don't use a lot of like lamps and stuff like that because she likes feeling like she's at the movies with the big TV. You can read like that? You can read like that? Yeah. Kind of like the detail is getting fuzzier. I haven't been to the eye doctor in probably 4 years since we've been here. No dentist, no eye doctor. You know, and you know, we're pretty healthy, minus my nervous stuff. Minus my nervous stuff, and I can't sit still a lot and stuff like that. But you know what? I look and I think about where I've been in my life. You know, I keep hearing. I was told today how many rock bottoms. That's so nice that other people are keeping track of my rock bottoms. but it's so weird. I don't know. It's my fault. That's all I can say is that my life is my responsibility and my perception, and everything I get is because of some way I acted. And you know, when I was a little girl, I guess I was better at accommodating my behavior and acting a certain kind of way to get people to like me. Because of and by myself, people just don't really like me, or they didn't. But I couldn't do that. And then when I was done with the Air Force, I was just, because when I was in the Air Force, dude, I had some asshole SP call me and threaten me because it was don't ask, don't tell. And I know it was this girl I was dating. It was the husband of somebody that she did her hair. It was like, call her and scare her and make her think that there is an investigation because she's dating. I'm not that important. You know what? I'm not that, So when this guy called, you're under investigation, and I was just like, dude, first of all, the call was at like 8:30 at night. I'm just like, I've been played too much in my life for people to play with me. The thing is that's the thing, is people fuck with me, but I've been fucked with so much that it's just like, are you kidding? That's it? That's what it is? I'm not that important. Nobody cares about if I'm dating somebody or who I'm, so I know that it was just somebody that doing some shit to scare me. And I was just, people are nuts, man. That's why I just like to tell people what I think to their face. And that's when I often get, Margie, are you being rude and insensitive? No, I'm just telling things as I see them. I've taken too much shit from other people. Too many of us have. Us, as Adrian Elise calls us, the Nova. Is that what the Nova souls? The Nova. What's it called? She just put out I don't remember. It don't matter. I need to stay out. I'm starting it. Because I need to not be on freaking social media and stuff tomorrow. Because isn't it like the freaking their debate. That's a train wreck. I can't watch stuff like that, man, because watching that Biden guy anyway, that's total elder abuse, dude. That is total elder. That guy is being freaking. It ain't cool to treat people like that. I don't care if I don't like people or not. There's still a common decency that people should have to all humankind, and just the way people talk about. I mean, I don't like any of these guys. You know, the guy's a freaking pervert. You know, but it's just like, look at the system that allowed him to be in the, running for president right now. So it must be, if based on that alone, that's a line of thinking that would kind of lead me to believe that, well, it seems like the perverts have been running the show for the better part of the last, who knows when it started. We just have been reading the script, and we just have been, every spring or every fall, right now I should be hearing like the football, the high school over there, like Friday night football games and stuff like that. And it's nothing. There should be the fall lineup, like the new shows, starting all the new shows. But look at all the new shows that aren't starting because Hollywood became too nefarious, and the ego are falling. So look at all the shows and then it's just like, look at the ones that are allowed to come back. The really cool kids. The Good Doctor, it's a show I like. But a bunch of other shows I liked last year aren't ever coming back. It's all kinds of them. All kinds of them. And, and it's a whole lot of people that haven't lived in their means, and now we're seeing all these weirdos, like, doing the stuff that, it's just like, dude, you guys had all the monies, and you guys wasted it. You guys wasted all your resources on chasing the white rabbit. Oh, or, drugs, or, I was watching pockets of the future. I really like Paul Romano. I like his point of view. And he was who was he talking about today? He did put out like 3 videos, man. He put out a lot of videos. Like the creatives are becoming more creative right now. He put out, but some people he does stuff on, and I just hate the people, so I can't watch his video. Like he did one earlier with Chrissy Teigen, and I don't think I ever heard her voice until today. I started watching this, and I'm just like, bitch, you ain't ever been pregnant. Keegan right about you. You ain't been pregnant. And now she's like, I'm spot. And it's just like, no, they're finding out about you, and you're playing games, but you can't play games when people know the truth. Where's the other? Oh, Adrian Elise. There's the one I couldn't find earlier. Ooh, this should be good. The Dark Outpost tonight at 7 o'clock in 1 hour. Einstein's unified field theory. I bet I got my own theories on that, because, see, that's the thing, is when Einstein died and his spirit went out in the solar system, he becomes a frequency. See, when spirits get to go out, they become a frequency. And then when you meditate and stuff like that, you can freaking tap into that frequency, that vibrational frequency of freaking Einstein, Tesla. They all think the same stuff. They just have different interpretations and different languages and ways to communicate and things like that. So that's why I meditate. I got to meditate today. I had to do 2 different intervals. The second time, I probably got a good 43 minutes the second time. And I went, I know I was in a meditate state. But then the phone rang, and I was like, I had to answer it, because it was 1 or 2 people I needed to address the call. And it was the guy with the transmission. So I was like, sorry, I was just meditating. I'm like, you got to give me a minute. My spirit was just in, I got to come back to the 3D for a second, sir. Because, let me anchor in. Okay, here I am. Let's go. I used to have a lot more snapback. Like I could just come into spirit and go. Yeah, what's up? But now it's just like the transition is a little bit, you get older, you just get more sensitive to everything. I touch cold mom's hand and give her, oh, your hands are so hot. They're so hot. She used to crack me up. She's a fire sign too. She's Sagittarius, so she's got like 4 major placements in Sagittarius. But she's older than me. She's way more sensitive to me. She's had a lot of surgeries, a lot of drugs introduced to her body and anesthesia and all that stuff, and that puts an extra sensitivity on you too. Aside from just alone stress and trauma and all that, it just, life is just not easy. So the older you get, the more sensitive you get. So like when I was young, I could freaking wash dishes because I would pick up after extra shifts when I was a busser in the winters. I would bus during the lunch, and then at night I would close washing dishes or work some hours washing dishes, pick up an extra, because back then it was like $4.25 an hour. It was minimum wage. It ain't much more than that now, but the bureaucrats are paying themselves bagazillions. And so, but I could tolerate freaking scalding hot water like it was nothing. Now it's like we get more sensitive, unless I were to like continue work and maintained that high threshold and just like always, then I'd still be there. But you stop doing the stuff, you just get a little tenderfoot, you get a little soft, and everybody gets a little bit less, and then till one day you take your last breath. Things are really they're getting pretty good for some people, and they're getting pretty freaking crazy for other people. People are just seeing people for who they are. 2020 is year of clear vision. Yeah, we're supposed to, because when people act one kind of way, it's so hard to perpetuate a lie and to live a double lifestyle. You can't do it. You can't do it, and the more details that people add to it, the harder and so it's only a matter of time before people start tripping over their words. And where were you that night? Where'd you say you were? And you're catching people when they're saying things. What really? Really? Because people are misspeaking a lot, and they're telling a lot of truths, and they're misspeaking because the energies are just like, brr. People are not thinking clear right now. And then you have those, if people are putting alcohol, because escapism is huge right now, and the stuff isn't working. People can't escape. They're still seeing the stuff that they're trying to escape from in their heads, so they're doing more. And so there's gonna be a lot more alcohol related incidents. There's gonna be a lot of deaths. It's just gonna be more until people start coming into the fact that you gotta live for God and not the Luciferi. And people are, oh yeah, God's great, and it's just like, and then there are people, they backslide. You can't say that and then like do all the things that are contrary to your narrative. But that's part of the Luciferi tale too, is creating cognitive dissonance, is creating the confusion, is creating the disbelief. He just eats that up. All of the dark doers do. They just, when people are in pain and strife, and we're feeding it. So I saw it. Carl, did you see that link that I sent you about the HR that making the Q-berts? They're making Q-berts illegal and and it's like, if like groups that follow this, they're a threat to national security. I'm just like, what? Are you serious? I thought this was the land of the free. But it's just like, Marge, they got you too. The dude, the What If channel, I was watching him earlier today, and he was talking about getting duped. I'm like, we all got duped, man. We all got duped. Everybody on this planet got duped. And if you didn't get duped, then you're the duper. If you're living and you're continuing to live I got my sticker today narrative, oh boy, it's gonna be freaking hard for you the next couple months. because people's shadow side. See, we're not even in Scorpio season yet. We're just in Libra season with some serious transits. Scorpio season, people are going to start getting tagged with the scorpion tail. Just because people are doing it, just biting, striking, because they can. And that's all. That's more perpetuating the Lucy fairy tale. You can't be spiteful. You can't. You can't be a dick because people are mean to you. Because then now there's two dicks in the world, you know? So somebody has to rise above it and be like, that's cool, man. Turn the other cheek. It's cool. God bless you. And I ain't always good at it because my ego, I'm Aries sun, man. Scorpio moon in Western and Vedic too. Both Scorpio moon. They were wanted to make sure that I Scorpio moon, so they made sure that I in this incarnation I'm gonna be Scorpio and Vedic. So I know all about Scorpio moon, and Donald Trump has Scorpio moon too. Yeah, that's how I know like how the man thinks. Sometimes he zigs when I think he's gonna zag, but I don't know everything he knows, but I could really freaking help him out a lot too, though. And DDK, I'll freaking. I was trying to figure out how to message you today to give you my number because I ain't putting it on here no more. Nope. So, yep, Mork. Yep. You know, I always liked Pam Dauber. Thought she was so nice and stuff. And you go back and watch that stuff now, it just feels so weird. And her husband, I never liked him. I never liked that guy, Rick, that Harmon guy in real life. Saturn square Mars is tomorrow. Thank you, Violet Moon. I'm like, I know it's like, hey, squirrel it up. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. I got an email about it earlier. This is like one of those that is going to be a life changer. And so I'm excited to find out how. Apprehensively excited. Cautiously optimistic. Whatever. Didn't I get an email about it? Do I know where my mail is? And all the emails that you get that are just total horseshit. What is that? Just like, oh yeah, okay, thanks. Because I mean, I don't know where your algorithm, but I don't need no mail enhancement drugs, but that's cool. Where was it? It was, go for me. Saturn goes direct in ambitious Capricorn. This is according to an email from astrology.com. Because I got Capricorn in my first and second house, and I think that's like home and family. I think it is. Okay. Saturn is a teaching planet, seeking to show you where your boundaries are and to give you structure in your life. While traveling through Capricorn, the hardworking sign that it rules, Saturn aims to remind you what you're working toward and points you in the direction of your goals and how to get where you want to go. This pairing tells you that in order to get the rewards you want, you need to really work hard for them. I'm no stranger to hard work. There's no easy way out with this transit, but it reminds you that if you really want something, you should use your time wisely to set up goals and a solid foundation to build them in the future. And in order to look to the future, sometimes it's important not to ignore the past. And then this is where they plug their karma report. But I don't need to get the reports because I will just, when I'm done, soon. I don't know, maybe not tonight, but I'll go listen to Sam Geppy and Crossy. Isn't that her name? Crossy. I don't want to wreck her name. She's so cute. She has a little bob haircut. In her, she just reminds me of just Crossy Atasio. she's a Vedic astrologer, and she did a talk about, a little while ago, about Rahu and Ketu, the lunar nodes. Because I have Rahu in my second house and Ketu in my eighth, or vice versa. But I got a lot of fire in me. I got a lot of fire. That's why I'm trying to teach people that with all this fire that you can still be kind and loving. And I fight myself every day. I fight my demons. Every day I fight my demons to just not, don't say that, Marge. Don't be rude and insensitive, Marge. Don't be rude. Because hurt people. And I had been hurt. And so when I get reactionary, I understand that I'm living in the past or I'm thinking about the future and I'm not being present in the moment. Because when I'm present in the moment, that's the only time that God's going to come in. And then when God's there, then I got to act accordingly with, in the standards of His grace. And that ain't being a dick and telling people, about them. Because I know I tell people, or I got told today all about me. And I'm like, yeah, that's a version of me that it's about 4 years old, 3 years old. But, people are just so quick to tell you about how you act, but Mom just likes to say, don't take it on, don't take it on, don't take it on, don't take it on. See, and if they're doing that mass meditations, I gotta be selective when I meditate, because I don't jump on board with freaking millions of people that are meditating on that. I don't know who's in there. That is like opening yourself up to who knows what evil entities. I'm not into any group that perpetuates those huge, because people will inject their negative intention into a larger mass group of people. And there's too many people that don't know what's going on with spirituality. Just be like, I'm going to meditate for world peace. And then it's just like, that night they're freaking half crocked and freaking beating the shit out of their wives or husbands or whatever. Yeah. No, land of the free, nah. Land of the free now. I was looking at Sam. He did a moon in Gemini. This was like from 3 years ago. And I was looking at his hat, and I was remembering, while people were paying attention to all their sports hats, I was like, so his hat, I'm like, that hat was the San Francisco font from like 89, 90. And so you can see, I can tell people about that. Where they went to school. You give me your background and your birthday. I don't really do readings, like I look at charts and stuff like that. I read people's energy and figure out where the hurts and the traumas are physically, because our bodies get so confused. I've been in a lot of pain. Like I was probably about 7 or 8 today in the pain scale, just from crying yesterday and my pressure in my eyes. And it's just like, you don't get to pay attention to the pain scale, Marge, because you have stuff that you have chores that you have to do and things to take care of. But when you're in that much, when people are hurting that much, that everything just sucks. But I want to teach people how to get their pain level down, and that makes the bullshit factor that we have to deal with on a daily basis more manageable, because we're not continuing with the crap of people not calling back. What is that? What, do people just not do business anymore? It's like, hello. I'm talking government, city agency. I'm just like, what? Just because they're all still getting paid the same. They just don't have to go to work to get their 6 figures. Do people who work in the state that have worked for the state for 10, 15 years, they're up to freaking 80, 90. Look at what their starting wages are. That's why it's a club and you can't get in. But they do nefarious things. Look at all the cranes. If you live near a big city, look at that's where all the stimulus package is going. It's going to facelifts, and they're all making like these ridiculous buildings because they look pretty, but they're all made of glass and stuff like that. How stupid is it that freaking Los Angeles and freaking Seattle and places like that are just nothing but freaking glass buildings? You get a nice shake, man. That's just a freaking death trap waiting to happen, man. That's raining shards of glass right there. They just don't think, but it looks really pretty and it costs a lot, so people will want to live there. But if they think about it, it's not practical, and people are wanting to live in practical means these days. because we know what the alternative happens when people go for money, property, and prestige, because this is the world we get. This is the world we get. Oh, and I have contributed to it. And that's why I'm trying to live my life different in accordance to God's law, universal law, and not the Lucy law. So, anyway, that's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.